Where did Xavi go? No, seriously, where did Xavi go? The guy left Barcelona and said he needed a break before coming back again. But the season ended like nothing happened, no news, as if he was never around. If you think that's the whole story, that Xavi just failed and his Barcelona experience ruined him, then you're only seeing half the picture. Let me show you the other half and explain why the team might still need Xavi and what kind of team the next coach will probably manage. Grab a seat and a cup of tea and let's dive into the details. Talent-wise, no sane person would argue that Xavi has an eye for young players. You can never be disappointed. This guy is a magician at spotting talent, even better than his own teacher, Guardiola. For example, Ferran Lopez was playing in the third division and was about to be sold to a struggling club, but Xavi stopped the deal and let him stay. He was the one who promoted Coperas to the first team, even though Faye was supposed to get promoted. And the player, as you can see, Xavi was the first to give chances to Lamine Yamal, and he's the one who brought Hector Ford up and gave Balde a full chance. Even though he didn't play much with him, he was also the first to notice Casado, and was the first coach to play Rafinha on the left, where the player really shined with him before. No way Xavi can just show up and continue like nothing's happened. He's the same guy who called Victor the rookie a scam, and sure enough, that player flopped at Betis, went back to Brazil, and now he's just sitting on the bench. Any team that wants to build around their young players, create a new generation, and invest in their academy is going to bet on Xavi. Forget about him being a true football legend. That's why every player respects him so much. Xavi's leadership really influences everyone around him. Imagine, for example, that he was the only one who managed to end the sacred cows saga at Barcelona, convince Pique to retire and Alba to leave quietly. Even Busquets left during his time there, and that's no small thing. He didn't agree to take the job because there was no other option, and the season before that the team had completely collapsed. But he managed to convince some legendary players to stay for the good of the club, something all the previous coaches had failed to do. This kind of personality is exactly what a team in financial trouble needs. Anyone crazy enough and qualified could go coach Barcelona. It was normal back then. At that time, my friend, every coach had turned down the job. The squad was put together last minute on a Black Friday market and the club was drowning in financial problems. Even the club president said he didn't expect it to be this bad during the elections. The club sold the stadium's grass just to cover expenses, canceled workers' meals, and did some strange things. But Xavi took the job out of love. It's true that Laporta supported him financially back then and brought in great players, but most of those players said he agreed because he saw the opportunity and managed to bring Barcelona back to winning trophies quickly, with the league, the Super Cup, a cup semi-final, and breaking their Champions League group stage curse. If it weren't for Araujo's crazy mistake against Paris, Barcelona was actually a favorite to reach the final. The guy succeeded despite tough financial conditions, and when you combine strong leadership with talent discovery and careful spending, those are things every big and small club loves. And to be fair, there were also previous sporting successes with Barcelona. Even in the last season, things weren't disastrous or anything. The guy took Barcelona from 9th place to 2nd. In his second season, he won the league. In the third, he lost it to Real Madrid, who had just won the Champions League. So, mathematically, it's a solid performance. If he hadn't revealed the club's financial situation at a press conference, things would have gone smoothly. Now, who could Bayern Leverkusen want? Ten Hag got the boot after just 3 official matches. Just between us, some players inside the team have called him out, and there's also conflict with management. Things are heating up, and now there's talk of Xavi being the top candidate for the job. One reason is that the club achieved impressive results with the Spanish coach during Alonso II's time, brought in young players and has a great academy. The club wants to develop talents from there and build a strong team that can consistently compete in the Champions League. The third name is Xavi. As a legend, he'll make it easier to work with the current players. They'll see him as a star and player who managed to bring out the best in Yamal, develop Kuparzi, create Furman, and so on. He'll be able to take control quickly. If you ask me, I'd say Xavi is the best fit for Leverkusen based on the team's needs, the coach's history and abilities, and most importantly, the pressure there is less than at Barcelona. So what do you think about Xavi? Manchester United is chasing Amorim, but the guy lost his cool and started feeling like there's a conspiracy against him inside the team. Amorim thinks the players who came with him are just going through the motions and not really committed. That's why after every match there's talk about the coach leaving, and even more rumors that Xavi is on the short list to replace him. You might ask, why, man? I'll tell you, it's the same issues. What's United's problem, my friend? The situation inside the team is heated, and every coach who comes in ends up clashing with some players. Then either the players leave or the coach does. And all these names don't have any real character as former players. That Manchester United spends a ton without really developing the talents they have. Let me give you a small example. Cody Maino, Garnacho, and before them Rashford. These are just 3 names out of dozens of talents the academy produces, but the fans always want to bring in players from outside the club, even though the ones inside are great and just need a chance. But what can we do? Just accept finishing third. The management's ambition isn't about winning the league at all. You might ask, what do you mean by ambition? I'll tell you. Ambition now means regularly participating in the Champions League, having a stable lineup, cutting down spending on the transfer market, playing a clear style, and getting quick results regardless. About the performance and results, if there are any, then it's like a dream come true. But there's one big problem. The pressure at Barcelona was crushing, and the pressure at United would be even worse. Xavi has to think carefully, like twice over, because if he goes to United and fails, the doubts around him will be huge, and his career could end quickly. His legacy at Barcelona isn't enough, especially since Flick came after him and outperformed him in terms of results. True, he didn't win the Champions League, but the way Barcelona played, and their results were totally different. So focus on that. The story should have ended with United and Leverkusen, but I have a third suggestion. What do you think about Atletico Madrid? Simeone has been a disaster. The team is at the bottom after the first 3 rounds, but now they've got a scary attacking lineup and can play way better football than what Simeone's been showing. As a coach, Simeone just can't get them going or try a different style. So why doesn't Simeone leave and let Xavi come in? He's a legend in Spain, successful with Barcelona, able to play much better football, and he'd get experience with a solid team in his own country. Honestly, it's a great idea. Why not? Hey buddy, tell us what you think about Xavi and where you think he might go. I'm waiting for your answers in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to get all the latest updates.